Hello everybody and welcome back to another video for the day. We're going back in r/neckbeardstories on the good old story time format videos because as of lately the videos that I thought that would be doing well are kinda not being recommended because YouTube algorithm is a lovely wonderful thing. So I figured I'd bring back something from a little bit of whiles back, so the good old story time format videos. I want to see how this does, and if you guys want to see more stuff like this, leave a comment down below, hit the like button, because any of that engagement is absolutely appreciated and helps the video in the algorithm because YouTube really don't like me, apparently. First story comes to us from username WhatTheFNeckbeard. A neckbeard wanted to take my non-existent virginity. Yeah, you know, just give the virginity. For some reason, it's my turn with the virginity. Just flashed through my mind, and I have absolutely no idea why. Hello, folks. I have an odd story, and I specifically made this account for it because I kind of don't want this ordeal to be linked to my main. I hope it's enjoyable to read. So I, 22F, am a little bit of a late bloomer, which is why a few weeks ago, I went to a bar for the first time ever. A good friend and colleague, 26F, invited me, and I invited another friend, 22M. She has a lot of experience, and she's been sneaking into bars from a relatively young age. I've never explicitly asked her why, but I feel it's not my place. But she is a responsible person, I swear. Obviously, you're expected to meet your fair share of weird people, like the guy who sat with the group my friend knew. He took my phone and then lectured me for not having my eyes on it, even though I was fully aware he had it. But it's not like he can unlock it without my fingerprint, but that's another story. Here comes the neckbeard. I have no clue how long he's been doing it, but at one point I saw him staring at me from the other end of the bar. I just tried to pretend I hadn't noticed and figured ignoring him would deliver the message. But he was staring at me like a wild predator who had just spotted possible prey. At some point, we moved from the bar to a table with a group of people my female friend knew. I don't know if Neckbeard knew any of the people, I have my doubts to be honest, but he somehow weaseled his way there and I didn't even notice until he starts talking to me. His first words, "Hello, pretty woman." I shot my male friend a glance because we both visit this sub frequently and obviously he caught that too. I just said hi. Neckbeard introduced himself like a neckbeard would. He was slightly drunk, but I'm sure at one point he even said "milady," and male friend tried not to burst out laughing. He asked my name and then tried to not be visibly disgusted because I'm attempting to be a good human being. Male friend had to leave sometime after that because he was tired and had to get up the next morning. Neckbeard kept trying to talk to me and I gave him a short, polite answers, and then excused myself for a smoke. When I came back, he was gone. To be honest, I didn't question it. I was just happy that he was gone. Had a great evening after that. We came back the next evening without the male friend, because, heck, we're young, why not? Neckbeard was there, but left as soon as we came in. I kinda noticed the shocked look of his face when we came in, but thought nothing of it. Until my friend informs me of what happened when I went smoking the night before. The weirdo apparently looked at female friend and said something along the lines of how he wished he was the first to ever be inside me, because I look so cute and innocent. She slapped him and had a talk with him about how disgusting he is. Didn't tell him he was like 6 years too late. And also that I'm happily taken, which TBH, I didn't want her to, because I'd be happy letting him think that even a single woman doesn't want to talk to him. No wonder he left after that, because my friend is the scary dog privilege meme in person. Like, she's absolutely gorgeous and has the kindest face ever. But just from seeing her, you know you really don't want to mess with her unless you have a death wish. Glad to report I never saw Neckbeard again after that, and I assumed he switched bars. This was sort of a long read. I'm not concerned about it getting attention, I just want to put my story out there for anyone who might get a chuckle out of it. Yeah, but don't you know, one of the most fabled and one of the most classic, reliable pickup lines is going up to a complete stranger and just freaking outright saying, "Yes ma'am, you look like somebody I would love to be inside you." It's people like that that actually have me legitimately curious about the thought process that leads up to that being the conclusion. Our next story comes to us from username Red Dawn Rose. Wannabe VTuber Neckbeard tells a child their taste in manga is trash. Alright, I'm gonna rip into this dude on multiple occasions off this title alone. You come here, little boy. This happened today, and I'm still seething about it. I work in a library, and we have a patron who is a regular that is a textbook neckbeard. We'll call him Kyle. Kyle has been coming in for years, and while he generally bothers the staff, normally we can just put whatever new anime or manga or comic we have into his hands and push him into the corner to get him to go away. Well, recently we got mobile internet hotspots that are free for patrons to check out so they can have Wi-Fi for free. Demand for these things are already through the roof when we first got them, and now that it's summer break, the demand has skyrocketed. Kyle was one of the first people to check out these devices, but naturally, as demand has increased, and with the fact that they are a first-come, first-served basis, lately he hasn't been able to get one. This has led to him hanging around the desks and harassing the staff and loudly complaining about how we don't have any, even though there is literally nothing we can do. He keeps on telling us he's trying to become a Twitch VTuber so he can start making money. He is unemployed and currently collects disability, while his mother, who is insanely rich, pays for his rent, which now is a good time to mention this guy is nearly 40, and keeps moaning that without the free Wi-Fi he can't start his business, or that homeless people are stealing the Wi-Fi and humanity is doomed. He has been doing this for the past week, and he has already had security called on him once for throwing a tantrum while we didn't have any. One day he even cried that he could have to retire from Twitch and get a job so he could afford to pay for his own Wi-Fi if no one came back in soon. It took all of my willpower to keep myself from yelling, "Please do!" Today he was doing the same thing, hanging around at the desk, loudly complaining, when a nice old lady came up to me with her grandson looking for the next installment of the manga Death Note. I told them that it was checked out, but I knew we had a new anthology book set in that universe, which he could read in the meantime until it came back in. We went over to the section and picked out the book, and when the boy asked very nicely if I could help him pick out one more, I happily smiled and told him sure. And after scanning the section to see what we had checked in, we checked out the first volume of Attack on Titan. He told me that his grandma and a lot of his friends said it was really cool, and I had said the same thing, as I had read it before and liked it too. Grandma asked if we could check it out back at my desk, which typically we wouldn't do, but I figured what the heck, it's just 2 books. We all go back to my desk, and Kyle, like a fly to a turd, is still there, telling my coworker of his Wi-Fi-less VTuber woes, and I started to check the grandma and grandson's book out. Kyle leans over to see what book they have, sees Attack on Titan, and loudly says, "Wow, you picked that? You're so stupid and bad. Why did you pick something that dumb?" Suddenly, all of the excitement in that kid's eyes for his books just left him. It was heartbreaking to see. When that kid slowly hung his head, my stomach sank. I finished checking the books out, and the grandma steered her grandson with his books out the door. As soon as they walk away, my coworker and I gave Kyle the biggest dressing down I think I have ever dished out. What he did was extremely rude and inconsiderate, to which he tried to say that he had autism and didn't know any better. My coworker countered that autism with no excuse for being an a-hole, much less to a kid. If they wanted his opinion, they would have asked for it, but they didn't. He then asked, "Oh, so my opinion is wrong? I'm just doing what critics do." We told him there was a difference between being a critic and having an opinion and being rude. What he said to that kid wasn't criticism. It was an opinion they didn't want or ask for. Then I decided to flip the tables and ask him how would he feel as a kid if I, an adult, went up to something he liked and was excited for and said, "Yeah, that's stupid and bad." He told us he got that all the time as a kid because he grew up with 4 brothers, to which both my coworker and I cut him off and yelled, "Then you should know better." After that, he went silent for a moment. He looked at me, said a deep cut, and that those words hurt his feelings. I then pressed him again by answering back, "How do you think that child feels after you said that to him? I don't blame him if he never wants to come in this building ever again." He then quietly muttered that he had a headache and left. My coworker and I both agreed that Kyle had stepped way over the line, and I need separate emails alert our entire upper management chain who have been extremely lenient of Kyle in the past due to his disability. I then went and warned the other departments, who he was also been harassing about the Wi-Fi boxes. and about other things, like how our teen department doesn't have insert obscure 1970s out-of-print manga here. I told them that he is a 40-year-old man at the end of the day, even if he acts like a baby, and that he can get his manga, but he needs to get out of this place, and it's not for him, it's for kids. Just like the one he yelled at. Next, I went over to circulation and security to let them know of the same thing. They were absolutely horrified, but agreed to step up security patrols and to keep an eye on Kyle while he is in the building. Management gets back to me and tells me I did the right thing and that they'd be meeting to discuss what to do. In the meantime, they tell me I can tell him to leave or refuse to serve him if he continues to behave in this way. I just feel terrible for the kid. I hope his grandma took him out for ice cream or something afterwards. He couldn't have been any older than 12 or 13 and just had this adult greasy neckbeard yell loudly about how something he liked was stupid in public. I really hope this doesn't put him off reading. His grandma is a really sweet old lady who is super supportive, and the fact that he's reading at an adult level is amazing. Don't expect this to be the last you'll hear of Kyle. I'll update a post for part 2 after management has their meeting to decide what will happen, because I don't think it'll be pretty no matter their decision. Update: management and security were collectively horrified at what happened. In the end, they settled on a suspension for Kyle for 1 week, although management made it clear that I now basically have toss him out of the building privileges post-ban, as I am the one who deals with him the most. Anyway, Kyle came in today and I guess front desk didn't catch him, so when he came up to me to begin the guilt trip / whine, I told him that he should go to the front desk first as he had an issue with something he had on hold. Obviously, this was a lie. I just needed him and security to cross paths, which he caught on to when the front desk told him he had no items to pick up. Anyways, him and the head of security started talking, and yeah, there's no remorse. He didn't learn a thing. He still pulls the autism card and the I have a bad home life card, etc. Head to security comes back and tells me, yeah, he's now gone for 2 weeks. You know, as being somebody myself who has been bullied for liking stuff in the past, you know what I did? I didn't do this. I didn't turn around, double down, and then start telling other people that this was weird or bad or something. That really, dude, you think you're just gonna, oh yes, I'm going to become a good VTuber, so I need them. Yeah, you kind of might want to have your own home Wi-Fi. Last I checked, you can't really stream from Twitch at the local library. Secondly, even if you did have Wi-Fi, I don't think that you're the type of person anybody would want to tune in to see. Content creation is a wonderful thing because you get to express what you like doing. However, if you do it for the sole purpose that you want to become famous, you're not doing it for the right thing. You're not doing it because you enjoy doing it. I mean, heck, I got a deposit on a model down, so hopefully it's starting to be worked on by the time this video goes live, and, you know, I'm excited for it, but do I think I'm gonna blow up automatically? Heck no! Also, dude, about the anime thing, yeah, God forbid anybody wants to get started on an anime that's rather mainstream, you know, God forbid that. I don't care what anime you watch, you can even watch the lewd stuff, but don't bash somebody else just because they have a different taste other than yours. Your taste is not law, your taste is just your opinion, and people don't need your opinion being thrown on other people just because it doesn't match up. Our last story comes to us from username Obawi. I hope I'm saying that right. Creep Neckbeard follows me home after finding out that I'm British. This isn't very detailed because it's all quite new, but I'm very upset and disgusted by this. I lived in Belgium and dropped out of high school due to mental health reasons and never got my diploma. So now I've joined an adult education course near my house so I can actually finish my studies. Hey, good on you. Class started last week and I knew no one there. In my first class of the week, I noticed very quickly that there was an obvious neckbeard in the class. He's 18, probably 17, pretty tall and large, and was wearing some generic anime girl t-shirt. I ignored him, as I have no time for people like that in my life. But he made his presence very obvious by correcting the professor whenever he see fit, and making obnoxious remarks during the lesson. I got on with it. It was only 2 hours, so after class I left and didn't think of it. The week went on, and luckily hadn't seen him again. On Monday, I came back to the class he was in, and the same thing happened, being obnoxious and attention-seeking. Then today, he appeared in my literature class. Apparently, he was sick break last week. I ignored him again and spoke with a friend I had made the previous week. After our small coffee break, I walked back into the class and heard a group of people speaking English. Living abroad and being a Brit, it's always great to hear people who also speak English as their native language. I speak to this young guy who is Vietnamese, but grew up speaking English. And then Neckbeard joins in, bragging about his English skills and so on. I ignored him again and mentioned that in some of my other classes there's a guy who speaks multiple languages, one of them being German. Neckbeard then loudly exclaims that German is such a sexy language and makes him horny in front of the entire classroom. Again, I just blank him until he makes a comment about Germany not actually being bad during the wars, and how they brought so many good attributes to the world. I say that many countries are like that, but it doesn't excuse them from genocide. Teacher comes in and we finish the lesson. I quickly get up and leave as I enjoy my very short walk home with my headphones on. I get to the front gates, and who was sprinting next to me? Yep. He then proceeded to continuously talk to me about how I was Scottish and how do I feel about Brexit and the Queen dying, and followed me home. I felt uneasy, so I gave him directions to where he was headed and walked to my house when he was gone. I feel like I should mention, although it might seem unnecessary, that I'm pretty alternative in style, quite gothic. I've noticed a pattern where I live that neckbeards tend to flock towards us alt-girls. Okay, now while the whole British, Scottish, Australian, that type of shui accent in the voice, that does sound nice and all, it's very much no justification to try following somebody home, holy shit. But with that, that's gonna have to be it with the video. If you guys would like to be absolutely amazing, show your support, and see more videos like this one in the near future, you know the good old storytime format videos, nice length stuff you put on the background, just get comfy and all, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment down below to start up them wholesome internet discussions, and if you guys have not already, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. Also, I got a whole playlist of these in case you want to have more of this stuff, but I'll be sure to see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye.